Hey, what's going on? It's your boy King Queso, aka Mr. Sigmatic, and I got another video for you today. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent and stay on my square. I said I was going to be doing videos every week, so I'm trying to pump out videos, but then still give you guys something that means something special to me. I was poking around and story time. My dad, when he was when he was alive, he worked at a well, there's another story I'm going to get into later about us being homeless for uh either for a couple months to a year. But the story I want to talk about today, and it's the reason why I brought up this word above. um my dad used to work on a garbage truck. I think he worked on a garbage truck for over 20 years, and there was a moment where his hip was given out, and it was one of those things where you're supposed to go to the doctor, and he probably should have gone to the doctor, and he didn't want to waste he didn't want to miss time. He was so focused on taking care of his children that he just bared through the pain, and he did that for 13 years. He put Bengay, he took whatever pain suppressors to hop in and out of a garbage truck for over 13 years while he had this hip problem. And when he finally decided, well, I think his body decided for him that he had to go, the doctors were amazed by how long he was able to withstand working like that. It got to the point where his hip and his leg was completely attached. They hinged together. And when they did the operation took way longer than it expected, because they literally had to grind the bone from bone attachment, because he had just bared through the pain for so long, because his main focus was taking care of his children. It almost brings me to tears to even think about it, because he just cared so much about everybody else that his body and his well-being didn't come before anybody else's. And that's what made him one of the greatest men alive, as far as I see it. And the people that he came in contact with, he was always able to make a lasting impression. Which brings me to the word that I want to talk about today. I was talking to my wife about it, and I was saying I believe this is one of the most best qualities that you can have as a person. So what I'm going to talk about today, and this word, it came to me out of nowhere. This word scared me, because I went and I do the work that you may not want to do the work for yourself, because I get bored when I'm at my job, and then I look up stuff, and I let the rabbit hole take me to a place. And this one took me to a place I was kind of scared of, because a lot of the stuff that I'm telling you today is stuff that my dad would share with us, or my mom would talk about, and we didn't necessarily know. We didn't really have the gist of everything. We didn't have the internet, but they tapped into subjects that, now that when I look into them now, it's like, this is the stuff that my family, my mom and dad, were teaching me when I was young. I just couldn't put a finger on it, or didn't have the ability to understand it. So if you want to be a good person, you want to be a good mate, if you want to be just all around, just like on your square, one of the best people alive. If you look at anybody that you look up to, or anybody that you like, yo, I don't know how that man got there, I bet you can say that person was resilient. Relationship wise, as you by yourself, on your individual journey, your family journey, your friends journey, I believe that this is one of the best qualities that you could have. And when I looked it up, blew me away. So let's get into it. What is resilience? All right, so when I looked up resilience, resilient people, we're gonna go through this website. This website, I'm just gonna tap on some of the subjects, but this is what scared me, because it was so in depth on this word. And if you can grasp this word, and then you can learn how to apply this word to your life, guaranteed it'll be a 180-degree turn on every aspect of your life. But what is a resilience? What is a sign of resilience? Resilient people often have a number of different characteristics, but to help them weather life changes, some of the signs of resilience include. I was going to go into the definition. Definition of resilient is the ability to cope with and recover from setbacks. People who remain calm in the face of disaster have resilience. So let's look at it from the standpoint of my father. I'm going to use my father when I talk about his resiliency. Resilient from his ability to work. Now, imagine he's throwing tons of garbage. He was a truck driver for a garbage company. He's throwing tons of garbage every day and jumping in and out of a truck. Now, just think about it. Just hip pain, the cartilage is deteriorating. You're still finding a way to hippity hop and make your bop almost that walk. And my brothers and anybody that know him would say the walk that he used to display. He had his own little cool bop, but he was only bopping because he had no cartilage in his leg. Like, he made it cool. But the ability to cope and recover from setbacks. People who remain calm in the face of disaster have resilience. Now, they give us some instances: a death of a loved one, divorce, financial issues, illness, job loss, medical emergencies, natural disasters. Instead of falling into despair or hiding from issues by using unhealthy coping strategies, resilient people face life's difficulties head on. So as a person, if you could grasp this quality of being resilient, a lot of people sometimes like to run away from tragedy. A lot of people don't know how to necessarily compose themselves. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But we're just going to read this website. I just want to show you how powerful resilience and being resilient is, and maybe you might want to attach this to your life to become a better person. I'm going to skip through this. So if you want to go to this website, the website is verywellmind.com, and then all you have to do is look up the word resilience and it'll come up. But resilient people often have a number of different characteristics that help them weather life changes. Some of the signs is a survivor mentality. So some of these resilience, you're going to be able to be like, oh, I am this. I do have that. So a lot of us, especially, and I'm not going to alienate anybody, but a lot of us is like, for instance, like minorities. When we were growing up, we may not necessarily have, I'll never say that I was poor when I was growing up. Might have been broke to this extent where I didn't necessarily have everything that I wanted, but I always have everything that I needed and then some, especially with the knowledge that my mother and father was given to me. But that survivor mentality, figuring it out. There would be some times when my dad would be like, hey, potluck. And that was a night where it's like, all right, eat what you want. Don't necessarily have something that you have to eat, but grab a bologna, grab some cereal. At that point, even though I know it's bad for us now, but it tasted good back in the day. I don't know what they put into it now, but ramen noodles. We did whatever we could. So some of us might have developed a survivor mentality just by like natural occurrences when we were growing up. And some people may not have it. And some people, it might come natural to them. Resilience is not something that's like, resilience is not a quality that you have to be born with. And this is one of the awesome things that I saw on this website. Something that you may have a head start in comparison to somebody else, but it's something everybody can learn. It is something that everybody could develop within themselves to be the best person that they can be. When people are resilient, they view themselves as survivors. They know that even when things are difficult, they can keep going until they make it through. They are effective. Resilience is marked by an ability to manage emotions in the face of stress. Now, this is when I want to talk about personal and in relationships. Your ability to handle your emotions when you're going through stress. If you look at my past videos, all my past videos connect to each other, and none of my videos are hypocritical. Something else that I'm saying. Everything that I'm saying, I really feel, I absorb, and I wouldn't say it to you if I didn't believe in it. All right. I may not be a big YouTuber as of yet, or I may not be a big influencer, but I'm telling you, the stuff that I believe in and the stuff that I try to walk in and I use to perfect myself, I believe it makes me the person that I am today. And it's going to be the reason why when I get to where I'm going and succeed, it'll be because of these traits that I'm trying to give you like a cheat code to. About the stuff that I learned through going through stuff by myself. Doesn't mean that resilient people don't experience strong emotions such as anger, sadness, or fear. It means that they recognize those feelings are temporary and they can be managed until they pass. Now, this is the definition of what I was talking about with internalizers and verbalizers. This is one of those natural things that came to me, and then my dad and mom helped nourish it to become a better person. I may seem like it comes easier to me, but because it connects with my ability to internalize. So an internalizer and a verbalizer even though I'm backtracking, but it matters here. The videos, they coincide because verbalizers experience anger, internalizers experience anger. Because I'm a natural internalizer, just because I experience those strong feelings doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to let those emotions take me to places that's out of my control. Just like verbalizers, just because you can experience that feeling, you can work on being resilient. Haha. So I gave you the first part. So you may be a verbalizer, but my resiliency in my internalizing, which forces me to start expressing my emotions and working on that. And you guys are working. So one side is working from the right, coming to the middle, and one side might be working from the left, coming to the middle. But in our resiliency and our ability to be effective, even though we're experiencing the emotions, how we then display changes as our resiliency rises up. All right. So resilient people is feeling in control. Resilient people tend to have a strong internal locus of control and feel that their actions can play a part in determining the outcome of events. That feeling I'm here to tell you today, it is not just a feeling, it is the damn truth. It's the most I'm probably gonna curse while talking when I have these conversations. Your actions, the way you feel, and what you do impact everything that happens after you do such things. Now, you can't control what you can't control, but what you can control, you should control. And resilient people understand, okay, can't control that, can't control this, but I have all the control over this. I'm gonna make sure that I give the best and mold this thing into the best version it could possibly can, so that it can then, when I put it back, affect my environment. Everywhere I go, another quick story time. I met my new manager. My manager went to all my store. He went with me to my stores. Now, some people might be a little scared because they'd be like, "Oh no, the stuff's not in order." Man, I always do the right thing as much as I possibly can. I'm not perfect, but I don't do anything that I know wouldn't be the right thing to do, because in my mind, I'm thinking it's just going to cost me more work and more time later on. Every single one of the stores that he visited, and it was just random. I was like, I'm gonna just go through my day. I don't have to hide anything from my new manager. They said the same thing. He's a great guy. Don't take him away from us. Best RSR I ever had. Wouldn't change him for the world. I'm resilient, man. I don't allow the outside environment to affect what I do. I'm going to be that version that I said that I could be everywhere, anywhere, no matter who's around, all the time. Problem solving skills. When problems arise, resilient people look at the situation rationally and try to come up with solutions that will make a difference. My only focus when I'm talking, and this goes back to, so I didn't know this when I made my last video. The videos that I'm making for you is helping me as a person, and this is why I need to keep continuing to make these videos, because I'm going down rabbit holes and figuring out and adding the pieces and putting it together, and I'm walking the journey that my father and mother put me on when I was younger. And it's awesome. I want to know if you want to go too. I'll hop in the car, like I always say in the intro of my video. Problem solving skills. I'm reading it again. They try to come up with solutions that will make a difference, man. I said this before, I'm going to sound like my father, because my father used to repeat himself a lot. I don't spend my time focusing on the problem. I've focused my energy on trying to find a solution. And it's what everybody, I believe, should do. If you spend all your time on the problem, you're just going to the knack that I was talking about: neutralize, amplify, and I said compress, but I think it's condense. But compress and condense are the same thing. Make those problems smaller. I neutralize what it is, and I amplify. How are we going to change this around and make this better for you and me and the entire human race? Michael Jackson found. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Self-compassion. Another sign of resilience is showing self-acceptance and self-compassion. Resilient people treat themselves with kindness, especially when things are hard. Your ability, and I mean, this might go out for maybe the women, but also the men too. Stop. Please stop. being too hard on yourself. It is one thing to push yourself to get to a goal. It is another thing when you beat yourself up so much where you don't have the ability to. I've seen people do it. I've been around it. It's crazy. It's bad for your health. Yo, you're your best what's the word? You're your best supporter. You're your best cheerleader. If you can't find things about you to cheerlead about yourself, I got news for you. Trying to find that cheerleader in strangers, probably why we get caught into some of the problems that we get into in the first place. Also, support. Having a solid network of supportive people is another sign of resilience. Resilient people recognize the importance of support and knowing when they need to ask for help. The ability to know that when I don't know something, that I need to find somebody who does. Oh my God. And we can use that the easy scenario of a man driving on the road and not wanting to ask for directions, and in the event getting you further lost. Come on now. Resilient people know that, hey, part of my resiliency is the ability to know when I need help. So what are the types of resilience? This is another thing that blew my mind too. Why this video is probably going to be longer than 10-15 minutes, which is what I try to do, but I can't. I get lost in these subjects and these videos become podcasts, so to speak. But I got to get it out and I got to share it with you. So types of resilience. Physical resilience, that's my father. And the hip. It's most people, because most people like to attach resiliency to physical, but we're lacking in the other areas. But we'll go through physical resilience real quick. Physical resilience refers to how the body deals with change and recovers from physical demands, illness, and injuries. Research suggests that this type of resilience plays an important role in health. It affects how people age as well as how they respond and recover from physical stress and medical issues. So if you don't have physical resilience, you should probably work on that. It's probably one of the easiest types of resilience because it's just out there, it's literal, it's logical. Yo, believe and then take your body with you. But these other resilience qualities, this is the ones we neglect, and this one's probably the hardest because it's mental. Mental resilience. It refers to a person's ability to adapt to change and uncertainty. People who possess the type of resilience are flexible and calm during times of crisis. They use mental strength to solve problems, move forward, and remain hopeful even when they are facing setbacks. I needed this. I need it all the time. But mental resilience, oh my God, the fortitude. I'm only 5'7". I may walk tall, I may talk tall. People when they talk to me, like, "Yeah, man, I thought you was like 6 foot." I don't think it's because, maybe it's because of the zooming of the camera. But your ability to move forward, your ability to be flexible and calm during crisis, it's one of the things that my wife loves about me so much. I feel as though she's becoming more resilient by watching and being around me as I show her resiliency. It's one of, I think, probably one of the best qualities. Yo, as a man, I think it's one of the most sexiest things that women find in men. It's the one thing that even if another man might be bigger than you, taller than you, have more money than you, if you have a better resiliency, one of the things that women look for, and it's for the age of time, it's always been provision and protection. And provision and protection, just like physical resilience, it always usually it encumbers money and your physical strength to protect somebody in the event of bills or an event of danger. There's another resilience that separates the men from them, and your ability to protect and provide information for a woman when she's going through stress, and your ability to protect and provide shelter mentally, like help her get through things, help her calm down and be like, oh man, all you got to do is move this over there and that over there, and then problem solved. And they look at you like, it's like they wouldn't have saw the solution as easy as they did until they spoke to you. That type of mental resilience, it's what I believe the best quality every man should have, what every person should have. But having that resiliency as a man, it it's the chef's kiss. You should really work on that. If you're a man who hasn't found their special someone, or if you are with a special someone, this is what will increase and keep that like that love and interest going. 'Cause my wife loves coming to me when something happens. I'm almost certain she may not say it because I'm bragging about it. I'm almost certain I'm the first person she thinks about, the first phone call. I'm the first everything when calamity comes afoot. Or it's what would Jesus do? My wife, he's saying, what would Jeremiah do to? Because but I'm embodying myself and following. Because I did follow the life of Christianity very heavily, and I still believe in it. Emotional resilience involves being able to regulate emotions during times of stress. Resilient people are aware of their emotional reactions and tend to be in touch with their inner life. Oh my God, this website was written for me. Because of this, they also be able to calm their mind and manage their emotions when they are dealing with negative experiences. This type of resilience also helps people maintain a sense of optimism when times are tough. Because they are emotionally resilient, they understand that adversity and difficult emotions don't last forever. I really be sitting there when I'm going through stuff and being like, so this is probably like gonna last a day. Or, okay, I'm gonna be when perfect example. Y'all have all been through this. This is a good practice for everybody that watches this video when it comes to resilience. And I do this often. Let's say you wake up, right? And they always say, oh man, you just woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. It just seems like the coffee spills in your lap on your way to work. There's a traffic jam. You just missed open road to get to work. You clock in, or you're about to clock in, or you get to your job and you realize I left my key, left an important document at the house. It just seems like coincidentally this is one of those days where everything that could happen is happening. Emotional resilience. It's when you calm down. This is one of those days. Let me embrace it. When I'm on my job doesn't have an hour start time and it doesn't have an hour finish time. You finish the route when you're done. My route has helped me develop my emotional resilience, because it seems like, oh man, you go to something and then this store asks you to do something extra. Then you go to another store. This store asks you to do something extra. I'm like, calm down, breathe. I'm in my family matters mode. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. The old heads understand what I'm about to say. You just embrace it. Okay, this is gonna be one of those days. Let me breathe. It's gonna be a long day. Let me get comfortable, because something about today wants me to slow down, or something about today it isn't going to envision me being a easy and short day. That's part of being emotionally resilient. It's those people who can't handle, oh my God, everything that's happened to me is happening to me. You're just building up. You're just amplifying all the negativity. And that's usually when the worst of the worst comes to you, because you're not handling life well. Your environment is depicting your actions instead of your actions depicting the environment. Got to get a sense of emotional resilience, especially as a man, because as a man, your emotions, like they talked about before, and actions can change the events after the fact. It's what's those people when they're enraged, it's like, oh man, I'm just defending myself. Oh, I'm just loud. And to other people, you may not just be defending yourself. To other people, you might be a threat. You know what? Sometimes what happens when people see you as a threat. We're not going to go and get into that. Social resilience. Social resilience, which may also be called community resilience, involves the ability of groups to recover from difficult situations. It involves people connecting with others and working together to solve problems that affect people both individually and collectively. This is one of those things further down the road that when you develop a certain level of resilience attracts other resilient people. And I say this because you can spot a high competent resiliencer. I'm adding words to the definition. Just go with me, because you'd be like, I don't usually see people on this level. I'm going through life. You've managed to stay calm and made it to level 55 of resilience. I don't usually see people. I'm usually, by the time I get to here, I'm usually by myself. I've filtered out all the bad or the people who don't understand what it's like to keep your emotions cool. You manage to still stay. Like some people, at some of my jobs, you have to wait to get checked in. My resilience is high. I turned my resilience. I was like, okay, so I guess I'm going to wait at this stop. So I sit down and open my phone, and that's probably what's made me made me one of the best workers, or one of the best when customers ask about me, because he's just so kind. He just takes whatever is going that day, and it is what it is. And I know there's a certain level of being walked over, but there's a certain level of just understanding that today it is what it is, and that's what it's going to be until it's not. So if you're saying to yourself, oh, Jeremiah, King Queso, Mr. Sigmatic, you're sitting there telling me all this stuff about resilience and how great it is. What are the characteristics? How do I get there? You got to work at doing this. And if you could work on this connects to your resilience. This will increase your power of resilience to where you might be like Vegeta. It's over 9,000. Resilient people tend to have these characteristics. Are you a good communicator? You might be resilient. Do you have an internal locus of control? I don't know what locus of control. I'm gonna save that and leave that as a golden nugget, because that might be another whole deep dive I go into. And if I go in that deep dive, that might be a video. So bear with me. Locus of control might be my next video. You have a high emotional intelligence and managing emotions effectively. A lot of women said they look for men with emotional intelligence, and I believe it should be reciprocated back and forth. Is your emotional intelligence high? Or do you tend to rage a lot? Are you short fused? Resilience might not be too high. Do you hold positive views of yourself and your abilities? Some people might call that cocky, but it's part of resilience. Do you have the ability to possess the capacity to make realistic plans and stick to them? I said to myself, I need to get better at making more videos. And then I think in my last video, oh man, it's so hard. Resilience kicks in. You can do it. Find the time. Look at it from a standpoint, oh, these hard times ain't gonna be hard forever. I did that. And here I am, bing, making a video. Are you a fighter? Or are you a victim of your circumstance? Oh my God. So do some stuff when this is practice. I'm telling you this. I'm trying to make this video short, but I can't, because this is such a powerful word. It is a root. This is why I put the trees in the background. It is a root. And this is why I also put the DNA. If you make this part of your DNA, you will be unstoppable, because you can't stop somebody that's resilient. And you know where I see like a raw form of resilient, and this is something that isn't on the website. A raw form of being resilient is stubborn. My doctor told my daddy that he was stubborn for not coming in. He might have been scared of going to the doctor too. That might have been it. But stubbornness, just like hate comes from the same source. How you're able to love someone. Now, I'm going off on a tangent, but you ever seen somebody who can really love somebody? Everybody watch Lifetime. Everybody's winning those movies. Those people that love extremely hard can be just as bad at hating. Stubborn people in its raw form, if you don't cultivate it, is just to be this is my assumption. My hypothesis. I'm adding my little twinge to it. I think it is the raw form of the beginning stages of being resilient. Because I'm stubborn. But I'm stubborn where I have knocked the kinks out, ironed it out, and I try to be stubborn about being positive. Stubborn about not letting people come and affect my day. Stubborn about I don't care what nobody says. I made this choice. I chose my wife, and ain't nobody else gonna be able to tell me different. That stubbornness has turned into, as I've cultivated and let it mature, into resilience. Call it what you want, but that's what I believe. Impacts of resilience. We can probably make that into another video, but man, just the impact of being resilient. You just see positive things happen to you. You're a breath of fresh air to people. Your positivity, negativity. When you're resilient, and as you work on resilience, you might realize that, oh my God, I'm getting surrounded by a lot of negativity. That's usually because you become such a positive aspect in life. My dad used to always say, Jeremiah, the problem is always attracted to the answer. If you become the answer, you kind of attract sometimes the wrong people. And that's just as a man. I don't know about as a woman. That could be something else, but I'm just telling him from a man's point of view. Usually when you try to become the answer, you attract problems. But like I said before, resilience isn't something that's just within you and it just comes naturally. You have it or you don't. Be built. Parents can help their children become more resilient. There are distinct steps that can lead to great resilience. Resilience from my mom and dad and living in a 7 kid home. There were natural examples or natural ways to become more resilient in the house, whether it was financial or learning how to share with my brothers, having opposition, wanting to be more like my older brothers, or wanting to be taller like they were. Like, there were just natural resilience. And as a parent, just speaking to the parents, do not save your children all the time from natural instances where they have to learn resiliency. My son is my youngest son. He might turn out to be short like me, and as a shorter person, I know that he might look like he's the first person that at school people might want to pick on. I have to develop his resiliency just like my dad developed mine. But anytime there's an instance where this is too hard, this is too difficult, my ears perk up. Like, ooh, here's a chance to see how resilient is my son. And I sit back and watch in a controlled environment to see if he has the ability to where he's at. And he's gotten better. And as a parent, you watch that. And if you don't know why you do that, this is why you're doing it, because you're teaching resilience in your children, in your son, in your daughter. Your goal is not walk around saying this, and I believe this. And my wife says, and she doesn't say it, but I know she doesn't like my morbid behavior. I'm trying to give as many nuggets as possible to my kids so that when I'm not here, they'll be the best version of themselves. That's what my dad did. My dad and mom did not raise me for him to be here forever. He raised us to plan on him not being around forever. He wanted us to fly. Soon as he saw wings and feathers growing, get out there. He was awesome for that. And my mom, she didn't hold back what life was going to teach us, and it made us resilient for it. I'm adamantium. I was trying to find an adamantium image for this, man. I'm adamantium. There's very few things that could destroy me, and even in my destruction, I will rise like the phoenix in a different version. I'm gonna find a way. So, how do you become more resilient? Refrain from negative thoughts, man. Oh, man. You ever been around somebody? It's like, yo, you got nothing positive to say. I'm allergic to negative thoughts. When I'm talking and I'm telling on myself, if I'm talking to somebody and every time I talk to somebody, they got something negative to say, it's like, I got to get away from this person. This person is evil. It is not that. It's just like, I don't actually leave, but I say to myself, oh my God, Your level of resiliency is low. I can't expect too much from you. If the lights go out and the power gets shut off and it's do or die time, I can't look for you. Cause you negative about the coffee pot. Not the hot water not coming out as hot as it needs to, as it did yesterday. You got something negative to say. If you're one of those people, please stay away from me now. It's okay. You can come around. You can also subscribe too. But realize, Jesus, nobody, if they haven't told you that, let me help you out. Nobody likes being around you. I'm just playing, but I'm dead serious. Oh my God. Yo, refrain from your negative thoughts. This approach can also be used to help children learn how to better cope with challenges, encourage them to think about challenges in a more positive, hopeful way. My wife is going to the gym, and this is weird. This is not, no, I'm a weird resilient. I'm a weird creature. I used to like the pain of going to the gym. It's the reason why I'm probably 15, 20 pounds over where I would want to be. I think I'm like 195, 200, but I like that. The 180, 175 version of me. Ooh, wee. But I know I'm so interested in the pain of working out, because I know in the way that I think about things, if my muscles hurt, that means I'm working them out. I know that over time, I keep at it. The fat's gonna fall off, and whatever pain, no pain, no gain. But refrain from negative thoughts. Seeking support. Hey, you're here. If you're here, you're seeking support. Talk about life's difficulties doesn't make them go away, but sharing with a supportive friend, like in case of Mr. Sigmatic, or a loved one, can make people feel like they have someone in their corner. It's self-explanatory. How to get there. So, like I said, most of my stuff is right in front of your face, but you never thought about it in that way. But I bring importance to something so simple to where, like, well, if you actually put some time and effort into this, yo, you're gonna, you're gonna create and find the greatest superpower that you can possibly have in your life, right? And this is probably one of my main things. It's one of the main things I do. Focus on what is in control, man. If you can't control it, do not focus on it. But let's read what they say. When faced with a crisis or problem, it can be easy to get overwhelmed by things that feel far beyond our control, because you can focus on the negativity. Instead of wishing there was some way to go back in time or change things, which is impossible unless you are part of Back to the Future. Hey, if you develop a time machine, I will delete this video, but I need to use it first. I need to go back to that Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl and do some parlays that was changed my life, because good God, nobody thought that was going to happen. Adults can also encourage children to develop this skill by talking about the situation, helping them make a plan for how they can react. I love walking people through the process of trying to get their situations better. All right, hold on. Hey, and I'm literally, like, I do all these things, but I really be doing this in my brain. Like I said, there's a table of Jeremiah. We're like, what are we going to do about this? Can't really do nothing about that. What about this? All right, we can manage this. Let's put this over here. Let's focus on this. And then I take what I can control, and I'm like, all right, what can we turn this into to salvage this situation? It's really that simple. And all it takes is practice. And you know what? Life is practice. So practice and get better. Manage your stress. Building healthy stress management habits in an effective way to increase overall resilience. These habits could include behaviors that help overall health, like getting enough sleep and exercise, as well as specific actions to take during moments of stress. Like, that's something we can go into depth in. I'm going to leave that up to you guys, but I just wanted to sprinkle the crumbs of the journey. I think that's it, man. So let me get rid of this. Resilience. Men, women, children, everybody can work on this. It's naturally occurring in life. It's why if you look at some of the people who went through, their life was so hard, you should listen to their life story. Some of people's horrible life stories made them into powerful, resilient people. And it's why they became who they are and progressed as far as they did. But that doesn't mean that you need to suffer crazy, outrageous things in order to become more resilient to be successful. You need to focus on the qualities that I was talking about in the video, work on them, and anytime there's an opportunity to go through something as simple as having to wait in traffic, change your mind, change the way you think, so that over time you'll be able to look at things, and then you'll see. It's almost like, you ever seen that woman, that meme where the numbers and everything and trigonometry is flowing all through the brain, is flowing all in front of her face. That may be how life looks to you, but resilient people over time are just taking the bits and pieces. Oh, 3 plus 3. Oh, that's 6. Oh my God. 5 divided by 5. Oh man, that's just 1. And you might see a situation in your life, a million divided by 0. Anything divided by 0 is it? No, you can't divide anything by 0. Oops. Hey, by the way, I just got an A on my final in calculus. I hope she's not watching. But 0 divided by a million, anything divided by, getting divided by, the 0 divided by anything is 0. Throw that whole thing out of the way. You just learn how to practice, and you learn to separate things you control and the things you can't control, and then you stay in control so that you can be the controller. That's what I did there. But long video, man, 41 minutes. Hey, if you stayed this long, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. But I had to get this out. It was a powerful message. Took me a little longer than what I wanted to do. I'm trying to make these 10 to 15 minute videos, but every time I talk about something, it just one thing leads to another. And before you know it, 30 minutes. This one's 45 minutes. But I'm ending this video. Hey, like and subscribe. Help me get to 1,000 followers. Hey, so hey, I could talk to y'all and make a little change while I'm doing it. But appreciate y'all for coming through. Appreciate y'all for watching the video. Talk to you guys. Why'd I keep doing that? I'll talk to you guys later.